I call upon the spirit of the owl, messenger of wisdom. Welcome to the Temple of the Owl. Merry meet, my name is Matsal, and this is episode 4, Lughnasagh. Here at the temple, located deep in the forests of Northern California. I hope everyone is having a great day today, and we're ready to learn and talk about Lughnasagh, a harvest festival that has deep pagan roots. Thank you for listening here on Spotify at the Temple of the Owl, and also on the Troubled Minds Radio Network, KUAP Digital Broadcasting. And please visit troubledminds.org. I want to thank Michael Strange and Rohan for producing this show. Now, this show is and will always be about sharing information from books that I have read. And what you do with that information and knowledge is up to you. I'm simply talking about it in a perspective from a witch's viewpoint. Now, in the last episode, we talked about the Wheel of the Year and how and why we celebrate the changing of the seasons and how pivotal points on the wheel are celebrated. And this is just one of those holy days coming up, celebrated on August 1st. Now, this is just some information about Lughnasagh, and you can change and adapt and celebrate it in your own way. This show is for everyone, and you don't have to be a witch or a magician to celebrate these important days. Anyone can gain wisdom and knowledge from the earth. I like to start the conversation with what I call the MOD, or the message of the day. It's a random quote I find that brings together the show idea. And today's message is a quote from a person named Moria Young. And her quote is this: "Lugh shines like the sun. That must have made it easy for them to find him. All they have to do is follow his light." And that's by Moria Young. And I like that quote because it's about a god of light. And notice, August is one of the hottest months. And the associations between a god of light, a solar deity, and the sun, and seeing those connections. Now, please forgive me if I mispronounce or struggle with some of these names and places that are kind of big words. But Lughnasagh, let's get ready to learn about Lughnasagh. Lughnasagh is one of the 4 Gaelic seasonal festivals and is celebrated in early August. It marks the beginning of the harvest season and is a time to give thanks for the abundance of the land. The festival has its roots in Celtic mythology and is named after the Celtic god Lugh, who is associated with skill, craftsmanship, and the arts. Here are some key points about the festival of Lughnasagh. The festival's origins can be traced back to pre-Christian times, when it was a pagan harvest celebration. Lughnasagh is typically celebrated on August 1st in the Northern Hemisphere, though the actual date can vary in different cultures and traditions. It falls halfway between the summer solstice, Litha, and the autumn equinox, Mabon. Lughnasadh was a significant event in the agricultural calendar of the Celts. It was a time for communities to come together, hold fairs, games, and festivities, and give thanks for the successful growth of crops. The festival is named after the Celtic god Lugh, who was a hero and a deity of light and skill. He was known for his talents in many areas, such as art, poetry, music, and combat. As with many ancient festivals, Lughnasadh has its rituals and customs. People would engage in activities like competitive games, horse racing, and sports. Additionally, there were often feasts, music, dancing, and storytelling. It was also a time for hand fastings, which is a pagan wedding, and other community bonding ceremonies. In contemporary times, modern pagan and Wiccan communities continue to celebrate Lughnasadh, often incorporating elements of the ancient traditions. It is seen as a time to connect with nature, give thanks for the harvest, and celebrate the abundance of the earth. Even though it has the word Luna in Lughnasadh, it has nothing really to do with lunar aspects. It is more about the male deity. The story of Lugh, also known as Lugh of the Long Arm, is an important tale in Celtic mythology. Lugh is a predominant figure in Irish mythology and is often associated with various skills and attributes, making him a multifaceted and revered character. Here is an overview of the story of Lugh. Lugh was the son of Cain and Ethnu. Cain was a Tuatha De Danann, a supernatural race in Irish mythology, and Ethnu was the daughter of Balar, a powerful and malevolent Fomorian leader. The Fomorians were ancient sea deities and considered adversaries of the Tuatha De Danann. Before Lugh's birth, there was a prophecy that a child born of Cain and Ethnu would be a great and powerful figure. Balar, fearing this prophecy, imprisoned Ethnu in the tower on Tory Island to prevent the birth. However, Cain managed to rescue Ethnu, and Lugh was born. Lugh quickly grew up to be an exponentially gifted individual. He mastered numerous skills, including art, music, poetry, and craftsmanship. He was also known for his prowess in combat and an expert warrior. When Lugh reached adulthood, he journeyed to the court of the Tuatha De Danann, seeking to join them. However, the doorkeeper, not recognizing Lugh, initially denied him entry. Undeterred, Lugh listed all his skills and talents, each time revealing that he was a master in that particular field. Impressed, the Tuatha De Danann welcomed him into their ranks. Lugh became a key figure in the Tuatha De Danann's conflict with the Fomorians. There was a battle that was a pivotal point in which Lugh led the Tuatha De Danann to victory against the Fomorians, including his grandfather Balar. Lugh was known to wield a mighty spear known as the Slaughterer. It was an extraordinary weapon that no one could withstand. making him a formidable force on the battlefield. As mentioned earlier, the festival of Lughnasagh is believed to have been established by Lugh in honor of his foster mother, LOO-nuh-suh. It was a time of celebration, games, and feasting, which continued to be celebrated by the Celtic people even after the conversion to Christianity. Lugh is celebrated for his numerous talents and contributions to the Celtic culture, and his story is one of the most predominant and revered in Irish mythology. He embodies the ideal of a skilled and accomplished hero, and his legacy continues to be celebrated in modern Irish folklore and festivals. Remember that different sources and traditions may have variations in the way Lughnasagh is celebrated, but these are just some generic aspects associated with the festival. Another story is that Lughnasagh is actually named after the funeral feast of his mother, LOO-nuh-suh. The story goes is that she used her magic powers to clear the land of stones from Ireland so that they could plant and grow food to survive the winter. After the feat was accomplished, she perished. But we honor the gift and celebrate by having a feast. The sports and games are sometimes called the Taliantin Games. In Irish tradition, funerals are seen as a celebration of life, as well as honoring the deceased. There are other sacrifice gods. They include Odin. In Norse mythology, Odin sacrificed himself by hanging upside down on the tree of knowledge in order to receive the information of the runes. In Irish lore, it refers to the goddess Mecca, a warrior queen who is part of the triple goddess as the crone. She is seen as a lady of the harvest. Lammas, also known as Lughnasagh, is a traditional harvest festival celebrated on August 1st in the Northern Hemisphere. The festival marks the beginning of the harvest season and is a time of giving thanks for the first fruits of the year's crops. The name Lammas comes from an Old English term, loaf mass, and it refers to the custom of baking and blessing loaves of bread made from the freshly harvested grain. Here are some key aspects of Lammas. Lammas is primarily a harvest festival that celebrates the first of the harvest year. It is a time when communities would come together to gather and celebrate the bounty of the land. In agrarian societies, this was a crucial time and is marked by the successful culmination of months of hard work and agricultural labor. Lammas is a time to express gratitude for the gifts of nature and give thanks for the abundance of the earth. It is an opportunity to acknowledge the interconnectedness of humans and nature and the importance of the harvest and the sustenance of survival. One of the central rituals of Lammas involves baking and blessing the first loaves of bread made from the newly harvested wheat or grains. The loaves are often used in ceremonies and shared among the community as a symbol of abundance and nourishment. Lammas has its connections to Celtic mythology, particularly through the association of the god Lugh. As mentioned earlier, god Lugh was a Celtic deity associated with various skills and talents, and his festival celebrated around the same time as Lammas. In modern pagan and Wiccan traditions, Lammas is considered one of the 8 Sabbats of the Wheel of the Year. It is celebrated as a time to honor the sun's waning strength and the approaching autumn season. Rituals during Lammas often involve themes of sacrifice, transformation, and the cycle of life and death. Lammas historically involved communal gatherings, fairs, and festivities. People would come together to enjoy music, dancing, games, and other forms of entertainment. Overall, Lammas is a joyful and meaningful festival that celebrates the importance of the harvest and the connection between humans and the natural world. It is a time of reflection, gratitude, and embracing the changing seasons. So I want you guys to go outside today and look around and take a look at all the greenery, all the growing of life that's all around you. And think about that garden where we talk about physical gardens and spiritual ones. And I'm using the garden as a metaphor for what have you planted and what will you manifest in your life. There comes a time when we must decide, what are you going to keep putting energy into? As we go into the dark half of the year, you could already see the seasons are beginning to change. So let's think about what we want to harvest and what we want to sacrifice to make room in our garden for more. Let go of things that no longer serve you. Sacrifice them like the Sun King is sacrificed, only to be reborn again. Contemplate what you want to give back to your community or offerings to the gods as we receive the blessings of life. In astrology, the sun is in Leo, the sign of the lion and the Sun King. We know August is the hottest month, and it's about sustainability of the sun as it is slightly past the peak of its power. It corresponds to the tarot card Strength, which is tarot card number 8. In the Strength card, we see a woman attempting to tame a lion. She is letting go of fear. It also corresponds to the Sun card, which is tarot card number 19. The Sun card represents blessings of happiness, prosperity, and romance. The altar is decorated with corn, wheat, rye, barley, and hops, and the candles lit are gold, yellow, or green. The energy of the ritual revolves around the sacrifice of the grain god. The nature of the holiday is that of the first harvest and sharing in abundance, symbolically cutting the grain. Some traditions make a corn husk dolly and burn them in their cauldron or bonfire, symbolizing the death of the god, knowing that he will be reborn again. Another favorite tradition is baking and blessing the bread. Some covens come together and spend time in the kitchen, baking loaves of bread, creating a special piece of bread made to look like the sun god. The bread man is passed around, and everyone takes a piece and eats, and then throws the rest into the fire as an offering. The priest or priestess may ask, "What is it you are willing to let go?" And she leads each person around the fire, purifying them of what they wish to give up, like fear, anger, or jealousy. Then they are asked, "What are you going to keep and harvest in your garden? What are you going to keep growing in your spiritual garden?" It is a time of reflection and sacrifice. Also, being thankful for what you have. Remember to honor and revere the sacrifice God next time you take a bite of corn or enjoy a piece of tasty bread. Now, these are just some ideas. However, you can choose to celebrate, and it's up to you. I hope that some of these stories resonate with you, and you can make up your own way of celebrating. I want to leave you with a poem written by Christopher Panzek, and this is he called a Lughnasadh blessing. Goddess of the earth, God of the sun, and from you all life comes. Son, lover, king of death, with your love we are blessed. And I hope that you guys learned something new. So also, the next part of this series will be done in mid-September, where we will learn about the festival of Mabon. And my next episode will be my first ever book review. That's all I have for today. So thank you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And you know what to do. Listen on Spotify at the Temple of the Owl and on KUAP Digital Broadcasting. That's the Troubled Minds Radio Network. And also visit troubledminds.org. Thank you for everyone. Have a great day. Blessed be.
Person